In LA this week.
An opportunity to have a conversation and a cup of coffee with an LAPD officer. I'm Rasha Goel, and that story's up next.
I'm Saida Pagan in Los Angeles, where the city is continuing with its efforts to get more and more residents to try composting. I'll have that story coming right up.
11 local artists are in the spotlight here at the Los Angeles Municipal Art Gallery. I'm Anita Bennett, and I'll explain how they were chosen and show you what they've created just ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm Yana Kay. Here's what's happening on LA this week. We all felt the shaking over the 4th of July holiday. Not one, but 2 earthquakes hit our area, rattling everyone's nerves. This time we were lucky. No serious injuries or damage was reported. But what about the next time? We sat down with the City of LA's Emergency Management Department to talk earthquake safety.
Hey to you.
You guys. It's shaking.
Dad,
it's shaking.
What do we do?
Get under the table. Get under the... Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
Holy crap, man. Strong earthquakes have been hitting the Southland recently, making us wonder whether we are ready for the big one. And with us to give us information about what we need to do is Chris Ibsen, who is with the City of Los Angeles Emergency Management Department. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having us. Appreciate you.
Chris, if there were 10 to 12 basic actions and things and that people would need to have or to do at this point in time with all the seismic activity, what would they be?
Number one, water. 1 gallon per person in your family, enough for 3 to 10 days. Food for 3 to 10 days, including pet food, don't forget. Important family documents. That's critical to have your identifications, maybe passports, medical records, insurance records, these kind of things. So really important stuff. How about that first aid kit? You get somebody that gets hurt, you may not know how to treat them, but having a first aid kit is peace of mind for you. Tools, some basic tools. You're looking at batteries, supplies. Do you have cash? I know everybody now is an electronic society. Look around, everybody's using plastic. Cash is going to be essential because those systems may be down, so small bills are recommended. The radio, do you have a radio? I know people say I have the radio in the vehicle, but I always have a AM radio, battery operated, because that's going to give you information. Flashlights. We don't know about power. People lose power. It can go pretty bad. Make sure you have flashlights or a way to light things up. And then clothing and sturdy shoes under your bed. If you got to get out, make sure you got, because you may have broken glass and so forth. So those are the things that you need to have in that kit.
And where can people go for more general information?
Ready LA is our brand. ReadyLA.org, very comprehensive website. It's got information of what to do, prior to, during, and after. So it's not only the preparedness and the response, but the recovery actions. It's a comprehensive website that has all that information.
Well, thank you for sharing all of this great information. We really appreciate it and really need it at this point in time.
It's a new lab that puts creativity within reach for all LA residents. Rasha Goel has more on how the Central Library is encouraging people to expand their imagination.
Imagine walking into a room with all the latest technological tools to create anything you want. Well, it's here at the Octavia Lab at the Central Library in downtown LA, a do-it-yourself center to dream, explore, and create, and it's open to the public.
We have this lab at the library because we are looking to show how people learn and how people become more technologically included inside our fast-changing world. We're trying to create, have people have access to technology they would not normally have, either in schools, like little grade school kids, or as adults.
The lab is named in honor of Octavia Butler, an acclaimed pioneer of science fiction who broke ground as an award-winning author in a male-dominated genre. She regularly spent her time at the Central Library.
She was a well-beloved library patron. She was coming to the library pretty much every day, every week, every month, depending on where she was living, from the 70s into the 90s. She would pretty much have her favorite table in the history department. She would do research. She would write here. And part of her credo and her belief and her advice to people is to be persistent, to use the library, and to be creative. And, all you need in order to create universes is the library.
There are so many different stations to choose from. Now, this is really a great opportunity to get your creative juices flowing. I have to say one of my favorites is the 3D printing. You can create anything you want and print it. So whether it's the library or, hey, an Eiffel Tower, you basically come in, create the design you want, and print it as a 3D model. You can cut your own artwork, logo, or design, or use the computerized embroidery machine to stitch your own items, or take photos and videos with a green screen, or even perhaps make a movie or podcast in the studio. Okay, so who still owns some of those old VHS tapes, audio cassettes? You know you have them. Well, this might be your favorite station then. V, I understand that we can convert some of that stuff so we can preserve it?
This is going to be the equipment that brings in the generations. So this is a DIY memory lab, and with it you can convert reel-to-reel, 8mm, we can record VHS, we can record cassettes, you haven't seen one of those in a while, and from it, using a piece of hardware called right over here, and it converts an analog signal into a digital signal. So you can convert these items into MOV or MP4, MP3, stuff your kids would understand or your little kids will understand. But pretty much this is a way of preserving our heritage and having it continue on digitally.
I love that. So, and I can bring my personal tapes in and convert them here.
That's the plan, yes.
All right. I think I'm going to come back for this one for sure. The Octavia Lab is a digital media maker space that is free to use, and all you need is your library card. There might be some printing charges depending on the projects. And if you're not feeling sure about what to actually do, well, you can always come to this machine, and there's a message of inspiration. In fact, you'll get a quote, along with even some suggestions on what you can work on. So put on your creative hat and make your way down to the Octavia Lab, only at the Central Library in downtown Los Angeles.
For more info, log on to lapl.org/labs. Have you tried composting yet? Well, the city of Los Angeles is trying to make it easier for more residents to compost, recycle, and go green. A group of LA City employees recently attended a special workshop on how to get started. Saida Pagan was there.
Composting. It's good for the planet and especially good for Los Angeles. That's the message that dozens of city employees heard at one of several educational workshops that LA Sanitation is holding around town.
Common methods of composting, the slow and cold, and the fast and hot.
These folks learned that it's really easy to turn household waste, such as fruit and vegetable peels, coffee filters, and even eggshells, into compost. Waste can be used to fertilize gardens instead of going to already overcrowded landfills.
By removing these organics into the landfill, we are helping the environment by reducing the amount of greenhouse gases that are generated through the breakdown of this organic matter, and also assisting in the city by reducing the amount of waste that they're having to manage.
There are two basic ways to create the compost: in large bins like this one in your backyard, or in worm bins that can be used in apartments. Either way, the city is doing all it can to get everyone to participate.
City residents attending one of the composting workshops can actually purchase one of these bins for only $20. That's about $80 off the retail price.
Most of the employees attending this workshop plan to get started right away.
I am going to try it, and I'm hoping that I can get it to work out.
And you're convinced?
Oh, I'm absolutely convinced. Yes, yes.
It's a great way to do home fertilizing and have the actual sustainability right at your house.
LA sanitation officials say they are encouraged by the interest they see at their informational sessions, and they are very hopeful that someday soon Los Angeles will meet its goal of zero waste thanks to composting.
LA Sanitation holds composting workshops on a regular basis throughout the city. For more information, contact LA Sanitation at lasan.org. It's about building community and relationships over a cup of coffee. Rasha Goel has more on a program that's giving residents a chance to chat and connect with local LAPD officers.
It's an opportunity for a conversation and a cup of coffee with an LAPD officer. It's called Coffee with a Cop. And whether you want to come in just to say hello or to discuss an issue, well, it's your chance to have personal interaction with an officer.
Through Coffee with a Cop, residents and tourists had the chance to speak to LAPD officers at this coffee bean on Hollywood Boulevard. The program creates an environment that fosters building relationships between officers and community.
Two real things we want to get out of this. One, I as a commanding officer and the folks who work with me want to learn about the community, what concerns they have, hear what the police can do better for them. And then secondly, we want them to get to know us. To many community members, a policeman is a motorcycle driving by. Maybe it's someone who gave me a ticket, but our cops are human beings. They are parents and kids and community members, and we want the public to get to know them just as Steve, not necessarily as Captain Lurie.
Captain Lurie also says it takes away from the formal process of making an appointment at the police station and giving people a casual setting to have a conversation in.
I go to all of these that we have in Hollywood, and I would say 100% of the time I leave with at least one or two things that I can go right back to the station, and they're actionable. There's something I can change or do to improve Hollywood.
From traffic issues to body cameras, residents discuss all types of topics.
People come in here and talk to the police officers, find out what's going on, find out how maybe the crime, what the crime level is, what they're trying to do about the crime level, what they're trying to do about the people on the streets, the tents, how they're planning to deal with them, because I'm sure a lot of these people are upset about seeing all these people on the streets like this.
Each LAPD division has a community relations office, and they try to get involved with the community in various ways. And Coffee with a Cop is something that various divisions will do from time to time as a way to reach out to the community and get involved.
And if you want to get involved and find out where and when the next Coffee with a Cop is in your area, check out your LAPD station's social media or contact their office.
She writes all about Los Angeles and the social issues that the city continues to face. LA native and author Dana Johnson writes about gentrification, race, and inequality. We sat down with Dana Johnson to find out what inspires her.
I really wanted to tell the kind of stories that I felt were missing in books that I was reading when I was growing up. Books that sort of gave a broader view of California in general and Los Angeles specifically, the suburbs of Los Angeles. And so I just really wanted to tell those stories. It was all like Hollywood or sort of like, I don't know, detective stuff. And all that was great, but I never really saw my experience in the literature of Los Angeles.
Dana, do you believe that there's anything very unique about being a creative person, a writer, here in Los Angeles?
I do find that the landscape really calls to me. There's something about Los Angeles weather, something about the light, something about driving and being surrounded by mountains. I hope that they read my books and think, wow, I thought I knew Los Angeles and I didn't know it as well as I thought I did.
An e-waste collection event helps residents get rid of hazardous and other waste. The LA City Council takes a historic step to fight climate change, and city leaders stand up against a bill that would extend the last call for alcohol sales from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. All this in City Beat. Councilmember Paul Koretz and the California Alcohol Policy Alliance held a press conference opposing the 4 a.m. Senate bar bill. Officials say moving the last call of alcohol sales from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. would have adverse effects on the community. A report called High Cost of the 4 a.m. Bill aims to communicate the concerns of changing this law.
The hours at which alcohol can be served from 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., the studies have shown that there'll be a huge increase in alcohol-related deaths, injuries, DUIs.
If you're looking to clean out your home or garage of old items such as printers or car batteries, then check out e-waste collections held by LA City Sanitation. Events are from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays at various locations, most recently in North Hollywood. To find out which items are accepted and where the next location will be, visit lacitysan.org. The LA City Council voted to approve the creation of the very first Climate Emergency Mobilization Office, following a press conference by Councilmember Paul Koretz and Leap LA Coalition showing support of the new office, which would work to reduce the city's greenhouse gas and toxic pollution emissions.
If we create a cutting-edge, best practices plan to reduce our climate impact in Los Angeles, we hope we can lead the world.
Time is running out to see an exhibition featuring work from some of LA's most talented artists. Anita Bennett gives us a glimpse of the unique exhibit called COLA 2019.
Using wood, paper, 35mm film, and other materials, 11 local artists created these stunning works at the Los Angeles Municipal Art Gallery. The creations are part of a group exhibition called COLA 2019. COLA, short for City of LA, is an annual program sponsored by the Department of Cultural Affairs.
It features 11 artists, all from LA, each of whom is the recipient of the City of Los Angeles Individual Artist Fellowship Award. And this award grants each artist $10,000 to make a new body of work.
About 300 artists applied for the grants, but only a select few were chosen.
It's geared toward mid-career artists who already have established like an exhibition history and a particular direction for their work, and we give them total freedom to make whatever they really want to do. This is a series of works by Sabrina Geschwantner, and she calls them film quilts. Basically, these are different 35mm films that she has stitched together, and in each piece, it's a film by a pioneering female director.
Each artwork is making a statement, including this one called Rainbows, Grizzlies, and Snakes, Oh My, about the impact of colonization on the landscape here in LA. This creation by artist Sandy Rodriguez uses color and maps to symbolize racism and injustices that took place here centuries ago. If you'd like to see Rodriguez's work and some of the other creations, the exhibit is free, but hurry because it ends on July 14th.
The competition for next year's program opens in the fall. You can find details online at culturela.org. There's a new exhibition at the Autry Museum that explores aspects of Native American cultures that have rarely been seen. It features the work of renowned California artist Harry Fonseca. Saida Pagan gives us a look at his one-of-a-kind art.
This new Autry exhibition is captivating visitors with its focus on the coyote, described as a colorful trickster who leaves a traditional Native American reservation to explore non-traditional themes. The exhibition is titled Coyote Leaves the Res, as in reservation. The late artist Harry Fonseca created these images, for example. Performing coyote playing the piano, San Francisco coyotes dressed in leather jackets, and Native American coyote in full headdress. Museum curators put Fonseca's important work into perspective.
Is a way of sort of breaking through a variety of expectations and entering not only into contemporary society, but exploring his sexuality and who he was as a gay man, pushing the boundaries of Native art, and then also making a political comment.
Fonseca, who died in 2006, is credited with changing the conversation when it comes to Native American art. He examined subjects such as money and fame, the impact of AIDS, and even his interest in St. Francis.
He was a devoted community activist. He was a ceaseless, sort of tireless artist in the sense that, especially in all the studies and things that you see throughout the walls of this exhibit, that he just had to create. He was just constantly creating, couldn't stop.
But it's probably the coyote that resonates the most with the art world.
The artist is widely believed to have used the image of a coyote as a means of self-discovery, especially at a time when outside forces often controlled how Native American people were perceived.
Many are finally discovering Fonseca's work.
Fantastic. It's very original. I had no idea of this artist, and his coloration and his sense of humor is just amazing.
Coyote Leaves the Res is just part of the 500-piece collection that the Autry acquired in 2016. In addition to the artwork, the museum now holds Fonseca's papers, his personal journals, and his sketchbooks.
The exhibition is scheduled to run at the Autry Museum until January of 2020. For more information, log on to theautry.org. If you're looking for a fun evening this summer, then head on over to North Hollywood for NoHo Summer Nights, a free concert and movie series that's perfect for the whole family.
And we put on these concerts right here in conjunction with City Councilman Paul Krikorian's office, and also the neighborhood councils, NoHo, North Hollywood East, North Hollywood West. So in conjunction, we put on these concerts, North Hollywood's Summer Nights. And we do this throughout the summer, and we bring up and coming talent to perform on the stage live, free, right here in the park.
I think it's a good idea, so we can just enjoy the summer. So for me, it's good.
You like the music?
And we can spend, yeah, I love music.
So we decided to just join the party and see how it's looking, but so far it's been good, it's been great.
I think this is what parks are all about and should be all about. Like, everybody should be able to come out here, enjoy themselves.
I think it's wonderful, the cultural event, great music, great musicians. It's a wonderful time.
Our dogs love it.
For a complete schedule of concerts and movies, visit valleycultural.org. The Latino community delivered the salsa during the Cuban American Music Festival in downtown LA. Thousands celebrated the rich Cuban culture with cigars, traditional food, drinks, and lots of dancing. It was all to commemorate the day Cuba gained independence from the U.S.
The Cuban American Music Festival is a great event because it really brings the Cuban population in Los Angeles together to express Cuban nationality, Cuban music, Cuban cigars, all the things that make Cuban people great.
And it's just contagious. It makes you want to head.
Even though it's a Cuban festival, what I see here tonight is a lot of Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Colombians, all of South America is here, all of Central America. So everyone is welcome here. Gracias.
The Cuban Americans that are in Los Angeles are a very vibrant group and a very strong group. And this has brought the community together.
Oh my God, you feel like you get a little piece of Havana right here in El Centro.
Now in its third year, the Cuban American Music Festival has established itself as the go-to event for LA's Cuban community. From salsa to jazz, the third annual South LA Jazz Festival also got folks on their feet with free concerts featuring some legendary musicians.
we're at the St. Andrews Jazz Festival, put on by our neighborhood council, council office, and sponsored by a host of city departments and organizations.
It's a free event, and that's really what's important. I mean, a lot of resources went into this, so you have to thank the sponsors, have to thank the city for bringing all these resources together to see what you have out here today.
All of us respond to music, all of us respond to good food, and all of us respond to togetherness. And that's what you really have here today.
Experiences like this will allow us to all come together, you know, and be one united family.
This is what LA is about. This is what South LA is about. Culture, diversity, and everybody embracing everybody's culture.
Listen up, foodies! Delicious Little Tokyo is back for 2 days of culinary delights. The annual Venice Beach Music Fest kicks into high gear, and an LGBTQ film festival rolls into town. All this in Things to Do. Join Go Little Tokyo for 2 days of scrumptious food harvested from the streets of Little Tokyo. Delicious Little Tokyo invites all foodies to experience the vast array of cuisines that restaurants of Little Tokyo have to offer. The festivities will include selected restaurants, giveaways, demonstrations, hands-on workshops, and tastings. Come explore culinary gems with your family and friends at Delicious Little Tokyo, happening July 19th and 20th throughout LA's treasured Little Tokyo district. For details, visit golittletokyo.com/delicious. The Venice Beach Music Fest celebrates its 14th year of totally free entertainment at the beach. This 2-day festival will be chock full of music, art, and live performances. This year's theme honors America's most famous music festival, Woodstock. All are invited for free fun at Venice Beach Music Fest, happening July 20th and 21st. The festival will touch down at the west end of Windward Avenue in Venice, beginning at 11 a.m. For more info, visit venicebeachmusicfest.com. Celebrating its 37th year, Outfest is the LA-based nonprofit dedicated to promoting queer equality by creating, sharing, and protecting LGBTQ stories in film and television. Presenting workshops, galas, coffee talks, and over 240 films in just 11 days, Outfest 2019 is the place to discover international LGBT pride and culture. Check out some great films when Outfest lands at the TCL Chinese Theaters on Hollywood Boulevard, July 18th through the 28th. For ticket and program information, visit outfest.org. And that's a look at some things to do. That's it for this edition. I'm Yana Kay. From all of us here at LA This Week, thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more of LA This Week.